Hello everyone, I'm Jakayla.
I'm Zakayla.
And Tyra.
We'd like to welcome you to our Battles of the First World War podcast. We are going to talk about the Homefront of World War I and what happened. Many things had happened during that time. 1917 was when it started. 1919 was when it ended. The governor contributed supplies, raw material, and money starting in 1917. Zach, what do you think of this?
I think this whole topic about the home front of World War I is something you can think of as non-entertaining.
Tyra, do you have any opinions on to the introduction?
I do have an opinion to the introduction because the war started and ended.
To understand that topic, we need to go back 1917 to 1919, when the war started and ended. At this time, the people became more receptive to various ideologies. Some existing social movements were strengthened, while others disappeared. Females made great gains as a result of World War I. Economic growth continued and even accelerated as the U.S. rallied for the war in Europe. Jakayla, what happened as World War I began?
Austria-Hungary declared the war and the fine peace between Europe's great powers quickly collapsed.
Tyra, what's another thing that happened as World War I began?
The World War started in July 28, 1914.
In 1917, the First World War took place in many countries. Woodrow Wilson was the person who led the U.S. Army during the war. This event was major because nations at war mobilized their entire population. The war had three major events on the battleground, which were food, funding, and service. World War I had far-reaching consequences than other preceding wars. Politically, it resulted in the downfall for four monarchies. There were also a lot of children that collected conkers, which could turn into explosives. Some soldiers died as a result of wounds of disease during World War I. People collected a type of moss that they used for bandages to cover up wounds. Tyra, why did people collect a type of moss instead of regular bandage?
So the moss can absorb 7 times its weight in the fluid.
Zach, why did Mr. Wilson lead the U.S. Army?
He wanted to use the World War as an excuse just so he can spy on Americans.
The outcome of Homefront of World War I had a long-lasting impact on the world. After the war ended, the world had a shortage of food. It almost led to starvation because there was a blockade to prevent food from one point to another. The war destroyed many empires, which made them create numerous new nation states. It also encouraged independence in European countries. The U.S. was forced to become a world power. Jakayla, what do you think about the Homefront of World War I?
Like Zach said, I think it's non-entertaining.
Zach, what happened on the Homefront of World War I?
During the home front of World War I, the leader of the U.S. Food Administration, Herbert Hoover, encouraged households with a slogan that said, "Food will win the war."
So the recap of the home front of World War I was a tragic event because they had to rewrite the whole map. If the war didn't happen, the more infamous massacre of the 20th century would not happen. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed our podcast, please subscribe to the Battles of the First World War.